Okay, we'll get started. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to UCD, a university for all, supporting your graduate studies. My name is Fiona Sweeney, and I'm Head of Outreach, Engagement and Transition here in Access and Lifelong Learning. And I'm joined by the Director of Access and Lifelong Learning, Dr. Anna Kelly. We're also joined by our colleagues Anya, Enya, Julie and Fiona, both here manning the chat and also our booth in the exhibition hall. So what we're going to cover this afternoon is Anna, first of all, will give you an insight into UCD, a university for all. And then I'm going to tell you about some financial supports, scholarship opportunities, and student and disability supports. So we'll get started. So I'm delighted to hand you over to the Director of Access and Lifelong Learning, Dr. Anna Kelly.
Thanks, Fiona. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm just looking here at my screen and I'm delighted to see so many of you at our session this afternoon. So you're very, very welcome. As Fiona said, I'm going to talk to you very briefly, but very importantly about a subject which is very dear to our heart. It is UCD as a university for all. So on the screen in front, you can see, actually just can you go back just at one slide for a moment, you can see our lovely campus. It's an awful pity that we're not there, but we are doing this virtually today. Our lovely campus with the sun shining, and the picture at the top of the screen are some of our students, graduate and postgraduate students, proudly holding up the banner saying UCD, a university for all. So I am, as I said, absolutely thrilled to see you. So the next slide, Fiona, will show a range of students. But what I want to get across to you today is absolutely welcome, 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 100,000 welcomes to each and every one of you. We are absolutely thrilled that you are considering doing your postgraduate studies in UCD. We have been preparing for you, we are expecting you, and we are eager for some of you and hopefully all of you to join us in September. And essentially what is our job in UCD and specifically in Access and Lifelong Learning to support you and to help you thrive, to help you succeed and to help you realize your dreams and ambitions. You have turned up today full of dreams, full of ambitions. You have experienced higher education in UCD or in the other universities or colleges around the country, and you're keen to continue your studies. And what I'm saying to you very clearly is you have come to the right place. So you are in the right place and we will help you. So the next slide will show you very clearly some highlights of why we call ourselves the first inclusive university. We're very proud to be the first inclusive university. Some of you that have been in UCD will know that we were founded by John Henry Newman 167 years ago today. But it's interesting, some people don't realize that John Henry Newman founded the university because in the mid-1800s, access to university education was not allowed for members of the Catholic Church. So they were barred from going to university. So as we say, he liked the challenge. So he decided that was not going to be the case anymore. And he set up a small, very, very small university in St. Stephen's Green in Dublin city centre. And believe it or not, he had 17 students, which is a tiny, tiny portion. So we are very proud to trace our roots right back to the mid-1800s and to say that access to education is in our DNA. So that is why we are proud to call ourselves the first inclusive university. We conducted a survey of our students last June. All our students, undergraduate and postgraduate students, and indeed staff, but students in particular, gave us feedback that they were so proud to be associated with a university that takes its commitment to be inclusive and diverse and very, very seriously. And they were extremely proud to be in a university that does that. So that was very gratifying for us. So to take you on to a flavour of how diverse our student population is, and the image I've shown on the screen attempts to show the diversity. Our students come in all sizes, shapes and colours, all ages. Some are parents, some are not. Some are younger, some are older. Some have disabilities, some are graduates, some are undergraduate students. So the range of diversity is very significant. And there are just under 40,000 students in the university, and just over 17,000 of them are undergraduate, but almost 10,000 of our students are graduate or postgraduate, depending on the term you use. We are very proud of the fact that almost a third, 32.5% of our students are drawn from access backgrounds. So they're students with disabilities, students who come from low-income households, students who are mature, meaning that they came to education later in life, students from ethnic minorities, parents, lone parents, refugees. So there's a wide variety of diversity. And interestingly, another third of almost of our students are international students. So you can see the huge range of diversity. So whatever your background, you will meet a group of students that have similar background or similar experience to yours. And we have done that down through the years around expanding the range of entry routes. So we have gone out of our way to create entry routes so that various groups who have found it difficult to make the journey into higher education, we've found ways to expand the routes. But a significant, I suppose, development which Fiona signalled at the outset, and she is going to speak to you about it, is, and I have put it up here because I am so intensely proud of what we call the Cortona Féine Scholarship Programme, which is the largest in the entire country. Cortona Féine, that stands for Justice and Equality, and it's UCD's motto, Justice and Equality. So Fiona will talk to you about the ins and outs of it, but that is a significant, what I call a game changer in enabling students, particularly students from low-income households, to study at undergrad and now increasingly at postgrad level. And I suppose finally around the population, we have set ourselves the objective of not resting on our laurels. We're not happy that 32.5% of our students are currently drawn from underrepresented groups. We've set ourselves the goal that 35% of our student population will be drawn from underrepresented groups by 2024. So we're continuing to diversify the student population. But the next slide has the title, The Next Frontier. And the next frontier is where we are hoping to go and have now begun that journey, like yourselves have begun that journey. So we are putting increasing amount of work and effort into facilitating study at postgraduate or at graduate level. So today's Open Day begins that journey for us in terms of enabling underrepresented groups like those that I mentioned to continue their studies, because you know and I know that increasingly employers are looking for a graduate or postgraduate qualification, and increasingly access students themselves, having succeeded at undergraduate or bachelor level, want to go on and continue their studies. They have got the bug, so to speak. And increasingly, as Fiona will point out, government is putting more and more supports in place to enable underrepresented students to continue to study and to study at graduate level. So the next slide is entitled Making It Happen, and you have made it happen today. You have taken this very important step to attend this session here today. We have also taken a very important step. I mentioned government, I mentioned the step that you have taken, and there's also the step that we have taken. And that step is around the supports which Access and Lifelong Learning have. So in the next slide, you will see the range of supports, and Fiona will talk about in detail about all of these. But I want to assure you, and the slide in front of you tries to portray what the centre, the Access and Lifelong Learning Centre is like from a distance. I know we're all working virtually, but in the images on your slide, you see there is Access UCD at home. So we have the virtual or in-person supports. So those supports remain, and we have pivoted all our supports, the range of specialist supports, the financial, the disability, the advice, guidance, and information which we provide to students, undergrad and postgrad students, the program related supports, they have continued and will continue. So I have not got a crystal ball no more than you have, and we are all unsure as to how the country will fare in terms of the pandemic. Eventually, we are sure that we will return to campus, but until such time as we do, we are providing all of our supports and services virtually to our current students and to our prospective students. I count you as a very important member of the prospective students. So my final slide to you shows an image of Freddie Mercury, and some of you might know about Freddie Mercury, and some of you might have remembered him from when he was a popular singer. But some of you also might remember the more recent film, The Bohemian Rhapsody. And the reason I show that is because Freddie Mercury had a number of hit songs, but he had one that I think is very important in the context of today, and it's called Don't Stop Me Now. And if I was able to sing, I would sing it. But I implore you, and we all implore you, not to stop now. You're on your journey to graduate studies. Continue. I hope, and we all hope, that you will continue that journey in UCD, but wherever you continue that journey, I want to implore you to continue, and I want to wish you every success as you do. And hopefully I'll see many, if not all of you, in September. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Anna. That was wonderful. Thank you. So as you explore the many opportunities that are available at postgraduate here in UCD, and you consider what you're going to do after you graduate, I wanted to tell you about some of the financial supports, scholarship opportunities, and student and disability supports that are available to you at postgraduate level so that you can make your decision. So, first of all, we have the Student Assistance Fund, and you may have come across this at undergraduate level. So this is funded by the HEA and the government. And the first one is the General Student Assistance Fund, and this is available right up to PhD level. It's very easy to apply. You just apply online through your SysWeb, and it is means tested. But that support is available for students in postgraduate study. You may have done a full-time undergraduate degree, and you're now considering a part-time master's or postgraduate. So just to reassure you that there is a dedicated stream of funding available for part-time students. The amounts do vary, and you just apply. Again, it's very straightforward. You apply to the Access and Lifelong Learning website. And the third stream of funding from the Student Assistance Fund is for funds for students who are parents. So there is additional funding available for students that are parents and considering going on to further study. So that's there as well. As part of the Student Assistance Fund, there is also support for students that might be doing the professional masters in education. And the HEA have ring-fenced a proportion of money to help support the national policy to diversify the teaching profession. So based on the funds that we had available this year, we were able to give students up to €3,000 in each year of the programme. Again, it is very straightforward to apply. You just check our website and complete some questions, and again, that it is means tested. So for any students out there that are considering maybe doing the professional masters or the PME, becoming a teacher, to let you know that there's that funding available as well. So moving on, as Anna said, to our Cothram na Féine scholarship scheme. It is the largest access scholarship scheme at undergraduate, and it is very much, we're delighted to say, growing at postgraduate. So as part of the initiative this year, we have the College of Social Sciences and Law initiative. And what this does is it provides fee support for students applying and doing taught master's programmes. The full list of eligible courses is available on our website, but when I was counting them up, there was up to 25 courses available. So it's a fabulous opportunity. You apply again through the Cothram na Féine website, the Cothram na Féine application, and that's available on our SysWeb or on the SysWeb application. It is means tested, and it does target students that are coming from low income families. And we do give priority to students that were either supported by Access here in UCD or Access programme in another college. So moving on, as Anna said, the government is very much in support of students going on to postgraduate study, and they have recently announced that the 1916 bursary will follow students into their graduate studies. So if you are already an existing 1916 awardee, you can make the decision to go on now to graduate studies knowing that your bursary will follow you. If you've come from another HEI and you had a bursary at undergrad, again, it will be the same. You can bring it with you to UCD. Now, looking at some general student support that is available at graduate studies. So we have a dedicated program student advisor that is there for students to give them advice, guidance, and each program student advisor supports graduate students as well. There is also a dedicated student advisor that looks after students that are doing research masters. And then there is the support from the UCD Writing Centre and also from the library. Students with a disability then can avail of a range of classroom and academic supports. Even if you don't have exams as part of your masters, there are still classroom and academic supports that will be helpful for you. We have a regular daily drop-in facility that's available for students to come and ask their questions and get them answered. And we have a suite of very useful assistive technology tools that may be helpful for you doing your masters. And the dedicated email address, disability@UCD, is available there for students that may have questions. So thank you very much for joining us today. If you have any further questions, Anya and Enya are manning the chat facility, but you can very much come and join us in the booth in the exhibition hall. You can check out our website with all of the details of the different scholarships that are available, or you can email us at all@ucd.ie. Thank you very much for joining us, and the very best of luck with making your decision to go on to postgraduate study. Thank you.